Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by Tri-County Logging. Experienced in sustainable forestry practices, Tri-County Logging can help you manage your property by keeping your woods healthy and generate income. Serving southern and mid-Michigan for nearly 50 years, TriCountyLogging.com.
Hi everyone, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Silik and we've got a great show in store for you this week. Jordan's going to introduce us to a group of folks down in the southeast part of the state that's doing their part to get kids involved in fishing. You won't want to miss that story. And Jimmy's got another interesting story planned for us this week.
Well, that's right, Jenny. We do have a couple more stories on this week's show. Just this past weekend, there was a really cool fly fishing school that Trout Unlimited put on. You won't want to miss that. And I got to get out on the water with a husband and wife team up in the Traverse City area. Lots of great stories on this week's show. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors.
What a beautiful day in the woods.
Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse, a sportsman's meat processor and Michigan destination since 1988, offers a variety of homemade smoked meats and Michigan-made products in-store and online. The Country Smokehouse features an outdoor barbecue and bar. Details at countrysmokehouse.com. By Green Mark Equipment. Green Mark Equipment is a John Deere dealership network in southwest Michigan and northern Indiana. Green Mark provides sales and services to farmers, commercial businesses, large property owners, and homeowners. Information about pricing and products available can be found online at greenmarkequipment.com. By Angler Quest Pontoons. Angler Quest is a Michigan-based company building boats designed for comfort and fishing functionality. For more information about the 2022 models, anglerquestpontoons.com. By Polar Craft Boats, offering riveted and welded boats for the outdoor enthusiast. Whether you're targeting fish or waterfowl, Polar Craft Boats have several models to choose from that keep you high and dry. For more information, polarcraft.com.
We're at Gallup Park in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and we're doing a kids carp event. We usually do this every year just to get the kids, get them introduced into fishing and get them on usually the biggest fish they've ever caught by catching a carp. And it's been going good so far today. We've got quite a few, but yeah, the kids love coming out here and catching the fish. I found this spot because I wanted my nieces to learn to carp fish, and it's really close to a playground. So the kids can go hang out in the playground when it's a break in the action, and then we have the alarms that let us know when we get a bite, and the kids come running and get to catch some fish.
Come on, it's soft. It's okay, we can wipe the meat again. Okay. Good? Let's go. Let's release it. Let's let him go. He's going to watch him swim away. And there he goes. Say bye-bye, fish.
Bye-bye, fish.
Awesome, guys.
The kids love this.
Can we do it again?
I don't know.
We'll see.
That's the goal.
He hasn't had one yet. No, he hasn't had one yet.
Okay, here you go. Ready? Hold it right here with your right hand. Yep. And just like that. And you'll want to use the rod to bring the fish in. You let him run, and then lift with the rod, and then reel down while you drop the rod. Use the rod to pull the fish to you.
There you go, just like that.
And then reel down. Perfect. Where's the net? Oh, it's running.
Gotta be a nice fish. Perfect, just like that. Some other fish. Come on.
The carp go well with the kids because they're very simple to fish for. I mean, we supply all the gear for them, and let the kids cast the baits out if they want to, but we'll help them with that, and then they're able to learn to fight the bigger fish. Generally, the kids that come to these have caught bluegill before, they've caught bass before, and they're excited to try and get something really big. So we are glad to provide a chance for that. It's really good to have something to get the kids outdoors and away from all the video games and stuff like that they're usually doing. So we're able to get them outdoors, and they get to come have fun in the sun and play in the playground and hopefully catch a fish out here.
I think anytime we can get kids out of the house and outdoors, it's a plus. I know the kids really enjoy catching the fish. For many of them, it's the first time they've caught a fish, and for others, it's the biggest fish they've ever caught in their life. So I'm just happy to be a part of it and get kids to enjoy being outdoors and enjoy fishing.
The common carp often gets overlooked here in Michigan, but these fish put up a great fight, and there's anglers around the state that love to fish for them.
Carp are generally misunderstood fish. A lot of people don't target them, for one. A lot of people don't know how to target them, but they're a really cool sport fish. They're the largest freshwater fish that we have access to in all these parks, and people just don't target them that much. But they're a naturalized fish. They came in, I think, in the 1800s as a food source. People brought them in here for food, and because they wanted to catch something big. And they've spread everywhere, but they've become naturalized. They call them an invasive species, but they're thriving in all these waters with the bigger fish. They provide a huge food source for the bigger fish, the predators, the bass, the pike, and if that's gone, that's a huge part of the food chain that's wiped out. So the fish have learned to adapt to having the carp in the area, and so they're not a threat to the environment at all now. They're a good fish to have in the water.
With a playground on one side of the fence and fishing on the other, this really was the perfect setup for a kids' fishing event. And even those kids who chose not to reel a fish in still learned something about the sport, which is really what this event is all about.
We finish up our event here in Ann Arbor on Huron River. It's called Real Fish, Real Fun. It's all about getting the kids out and enjoy catching fish, get them away from computer, video games, things like that, just so they can get outdoor activities. We have a playground over here. What it is, it's like we have kids that always come to the event, and then we have kids that come and they play in the playground. They hear all the alarms going off, and they just keep running to the rods, try to reel in. And when they see, let's say, one of our kids, catch a fish, then they're all excited. They want to go and catch another one, and they say, "Hey, I want one." So, that's about it. So thank you guys, and if you want to come up, join us. We have that event every single year on the same venue, which is in Ann Arbor and Huron River. That's what it's all about. It's all about the kids.
That was a big fish, Lisa. You're right.
You like the fish? Fish are cool. That's true. You want to reel in the next one?
Yes.
She's got to reel in the next one. You got to give her a chance. You can have one. You want to reel one in as well? You're welcome, guys.
The best part about this event was watching kids who had never fished before getting excited about fishing. Special thanks to Andy and Daniel for putting this event together and for all that they do to get more kids involved in the outdoors.
Well, this past weekend was the free fishing weekend, which just happens to be the same weekend that Trout Unlimited has been doing their fly fishing school for over 50 years.
It is just the most incredible bunch of guys here, all Trout Unlimited members, all volunteers, who take this weekend and they spend time teaching fly fishing to willing students. And it is the most comprehensive, most fascinating school that I can imagine there being. We have novice class students, we have intermediate class students, and we have advanced class students. And I'm going to tell you, everybody just has a very good time. And the information, there's so much. I've had students say to me by Sunday they're on information overload because we throw so much their way. So it's just an absolute wonderful experience. The instructors are enthusiastic. The students go away learning to fly fish.
These guys are practicing so that when they get on the water, it'll just be second nature to them. And that's what'll be the difference between catching a fish and not catching a fish.
And what is mending?
Mending is moving your fly line so that it floats with the current in the proper way.
Perfect.
So that's what they're doing. And these guys are pretty good. Not bad for a bunch of old guys.
Well, the roll cast is what we're trying to teach them. The whole point behind the roll cast, and you use it in situations where you don't have room to back cast. One of the things that people run into is they don't look behind them, so they cast up into a tree and they're in trouble. If they check and say, geez, I can't cast back here, a roll cast allows them, they only have to bring the line back, just behind them, and we call that a D-loop, but it's the line and a little bit of a bow, and as long as they've got some line behind them, then they can just roll it out in front of them. And they can walk through a lot of water without spending a lot of time waiting for a line to roll out behind them. That's also, it saves time. You can do a roll cast and do several presentations across a pond or a river. So it's a very efficient casting technique.
I heard about the fly fishing school from Jim Gibbs, who is my neighbor downstate, and I went to high school with him. And he's got a place on the Asabo, and I've been up to visit him there, and I figured that this would be a lovely thing to learn how to do.
Nice.
So we're doing it, and the school is unbelievable. It's really, really cool, and everybody's into it here. The instructors are great. There's a good ratio of students to instructors, and I can't recommend it highly enough. It's great.
I was quickly learning that this school is top-notch, and as we hit the water Friday evening, I learned more about it from this year's coordinator, Jim Gibbs.
So this is the intermediate school where we work primarily on accuracy and repetition, so that we're going to target specific fish, and we're going to do it repeatedly so that we develop some muscle memory and practice the skills of the cast. So we're going to, one by one, stand at a log and fish and try and get a float that is necessary to catch a fish. And everybody's going to try it, and then we're going to move on down to the next spot.
I was amazed to learn that this school has been going now for 50 years. That's a lot of folks learning the art of fly fishing.
So the school began as an effort to instruct Trout Unlimited members in their casting and to improve their skills. And it has morphed into teaching casting to the public and increasing the awareness of the preservation of cold water fisheries in the state of Michigan, because that's what Trout Unlimited is all about. We do it here at this facility called Ranch Rudolph. It's just south of Traverse City. It's what you would consider a dude ranch because they have horseback riding and many other activities here. But what they have, which makes it wonderful for us, is a building that houses our students, that provides great meals. They have a bar, they have casting ponds in the front yard, and the river runs right through the property. So we do it all right on this location over the course of 3 days. That's a Friday through Sunday, and it's held every year on the second weekend in June, because that's when the state of Michigan has its free fishing weekend. So nobody has to buy a fishing license. They come. And we spend the entire weekend outside. We're out casting on the lawn. We're in the river doing demonstrations. Students are fishing. So it is an event which is patronized by families come together, lots of husbands and wives. We're very fortunate that we have a ratio of 30% generally that women take the school, and they, because it's all on one site and it's very easy to access, so we've had all levels of abilities and disabilities here through the school, and it works out well. The facility works out well for them.
So there is a lot more than just how to cast a fly taught here in the days at Ranch Rudolph. This is a class on fly tying, which of course is a very big part of fly fishing. Knowing what bug is what is key, and if you tie your own, you learn a lot about the cycle of the bugs on the water that you may be fishing on. But one of the more popular things they do on Saturday is a 4-station class on the different methods of fishing and bug identification as well, all done in the river by some very good instructors.
You don't just jump into the river. You look at the river, see if there's anything hatching. You can look above the river to see if there's anything happening above, where they're mating above the river, the mayflies. So most of the dry flies that we're going to be using and imitating are the mayflies. So you don't want to just jump in the river, because there might be a fish that's been feeding quite regularly right in front of you, and then you jump in and just spook them off. So the other thing you want to look for is there somebody upstream or is there somebody downstream, because we want to make sure that we don't just jump in the river and mess up their fishing.
After the dry fly section of the class, we went downstream to learn about nymph fishing.
Why do we fish nymphs? You had a lesson this morning on the life cycle of aquatic insects, and so you already know that they lay eggs and die, and the eggs hatch, and then they'll spend maybe up to 2 years on the bottom of the river in a nymph form, and they're always there. And fish always have to eat. They have to eat every day, and they have to get more calories in than they spend trying to get those calories. So nymphs are always there to be fished, and fish always have to eat.
But when nothing really seems to be going on, and you want to go out and prospect, a streamer is a great way to do it. Because you can come out, you can hit around structure, undercut banks, and flats, and there's no question of whether or not you get a strike.
With fewer and fewer folks getting outside, weekend classes like this are just becoming so much more and more necessary.
We've become an insulary population and more drawn to being indoors and focused on media. And one of the things that trout fishing allows us to do is to participate in the outdoors. It allows us to be part of nature. It allows us to see those subtle changes in a day, in an evening, in a night, and participate in this spectacular beauty that we have in the state of Michigan with all this wonderful water resource that's everywhere. And so trout fishing gives you many things, but it also gives you a piece that comes with participating in an outdoor activity.
What a cool place and what a great school to be a part of. Thanks to Trout Unlimited and all who made this possible. Great to see sportsmen and women giving back to the outdoor passions they hold so dear. One of my favorite places to fish in the state of Michigan is East and West Bay, just outside of Traverse City. It is just a gorgeous piece of water. I was recently up there where the fishing conditions were not so good, but we had a really great time. If you get the chance to hit the water from Old Mission Peninsula near Traverse City, you should take it. It's some of the clearest water, much like the Caribbean in some spots. And today I was going to be tagging along with a husband and wife team.
Think there's any fish in this lake?
I think there might be a few.
Well, we'll test you on that.
Yeah, hopefully we can get that cooler full today.
There we go. What are we fishing for?
Cisco and some bonus lake trout.
Okay. And we're on East Bay here, right?
Yep. Right in East Bay. And we're going to go out and find the magic hole.
And who else we got fishing with us today?
My lovely wife, Cheryl.
And the 2 fishing dogs.
And the children.
The plan today was to use jigging spoons and some blade baits to target the Cisco here in East Bay. Brian does some guiding around the state and has had good luck on this piece of water.
We're going to be in about 50 feet or so. And when you drop down, you'll know there. If you give it 5 minutes and you don't see any fish, then we move, because it's so clear and shallow, they run right in when they can see your lure. And if I don't mark any in 5 minutes, we move to another spot.
Okay, so you're using the pan optics?
Yep.
Has that been a pretty nice little tool for you?
Oh man, that's like awesome. You know, it's like a live video game. It's definitely changed the way that I fish, at least.
Okay.
We got our lines in the water. We had planned to hit the water the previous week, but weather, well, it made us bump it back a week later. Well, what a difference a week can make. Unlike previous weeks, there was a large die-off of alewives. Every 20 to 30 yards or so, there were dead or dying fish on the water, which meant every fish in the water, well, they were full. So with bad luck rearing its head, we also had another issue.
Oh no! My wife packed the snack bag. Oh.
Now we know why it's not working.
Oh.
Well, if you're not aware, it's an old wives' tale that bananas are never to be brought on a boat, especially not a fishing boat. The stories of why that's the case go back all the way to the boats sailing to the Americas, and if they went down at sea, the only thing left in the wreckage, well, typically it was bananas. Thus, they were bad luck, or ships that did make it had to go extra fast so the bananas wouldn't spoil, which the fast ship meant too fast to fish. The list is long of why not to have bananas on board, but we had broke the curse here. Well, sort of.
Out of the bag.
Woohoo! Daddy did it! Woohoo! Bella, you have a part. You have something to play with.
Oh, and he split the hook too.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now
Oh,
he's
that
gonna have
beautiful
some
color.
Now, were you
He's gonna
taking
have
that
a beautiful
spoon, or was that the?
That was a blade bait.
That was the blade bait.
Casting
Okay.
out, and bringing it back with a blade bait.
With our tails tucked between our legs, we made it back to Brian and Cheryl's place for smoked Cisco and one fresh lake trout, and something I had never even heard of.
Your special tonight, Jimmy, is homemade caviar.
Homemade caviar. What is that? Tell me about that process.
Well, first, real caviar is like $100 for a little bit of thing like this. And we had a guest stay here last year that says that she makes it out of like salmon eggs. And I'm thinking, it's once I catch a female, I only need one or two, probably one female a year to get enough spawn for all I need. But how many times do we all catch females and just throw away all the eggs? So she told us how to make it, and my wife listened and took great notes, and now we can have all the caviar we want and eat it by the shovelfuls.
So when Brian brings it home, the eggs are in a sack, and you have to soak it in warm water, and then you have to rip the sack apart and pull the eggs out, but they're all like gooey and together. So you work on that for a while, and then you soak it in salt water for about 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
And then you rinse it again, and then you repeat the process
Okay.
a couple of times. I also soaked it in milk as well, because it helps to take away that fishy taste.
Okay.
And yeah,
People like it, eh?
yeah,
I'm gonna try it here in a little bit.
Yeah, and then I soft water can it. And we keep it in the fridge.
Okay.
So it stays and keeps well.
We did a more traditional butter-garlic mixture for some of the fish and a very good mustard brown sugar mixture that I will try again. Then it was on to the fire.
So brown sugar, mustard. We like the grain mustard.
Okay.
And I do some of the honey mustard too in there with brown sugar and Parmesan. Just Parmesan because it just helps to thicken it and gives it a nice little flavor. And then I'll throw a little bit of dill on it too.
So was today what we had in mind? Well, no. We were hoping to catch some Cisco, and Brian gets limits on those very same spots. But does every trip go as planned? No, it does not. I did get to meet some new friends, and had a world-class dinner on the shores of Crystal Lake just outside of Frankfurt. Fish cooked over the fire just tastes better somehow. And for me, a first, coho caviar. Who knew? So thanks to Brian and Cheryl for hosting a memorable day on East Bay. Oh, and one more thing. Don't pack any bananas the next time you hit the water. Here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
Thanks so much for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you stay tuned in upcoming weeks. We've got all sorts of fun headed your way. We'll take you out on Saginaw Bay for some summertime fishing and all over the state to see what's happening. If you'd like to see where we are and where we're headed next, you can always check us out online.
Well, that's right, Jenny. Online is a good way to kind of keep tabs on us. You can do that through our website, our different social media platforms, as well as YouTube. So lots of places you can be checking us out. And hopefully, if we don't see you in the woods or on the water, we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by
Do you dream of somewhere bigger than your backyard? You can get there with Greenstone. Whether you want to hunt, fish, hike, or just watch the sunset, we're ready to help you own your place in the great outdoors. To learn more, visit greenstonefcs.com.
By Alta Equipment Company, providing sales, rentals, service, and parts because uptime matters. From earth moving to landscaping and light construction, Alta offers over 50 brands across 7 Michigan locations to serve you. More information online or 844-GO-2-ALTA. By Angler Quest Pontoons. Angler Quest is a Michigan-based company building boats designed for comfort and fishing functionality. For more information about the 2022 models, anglerquestpontoons.com. By Polar Craft Boats, offering riveted and welded boats for the outdoor enthusiast. Whether you're targeting fish or waterfowl, Polar Craft Boats have several models to choose from that keep you high and dry. For more information, polarcraft.com.
Closed captioning provided by Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love this land. I am a Michigan man. From the Keweenaw down to St. Joe, Kalamazoo, east to Monroe, to St. Marie and back again. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love this land.